Your last albums, especially Pure and Passion, prove that Pendragon became one of the most innovative bands in the so-called progressive rock genre. Give us your statement about that fact.
My statement is that is very sweet of you to say that. Because to be innovative in 2011, I think, is quite hard to do. I hope that we've tried to break down some barriers between what people would typically know as progressive rock and something new. I think it's extremely important for a musician to sometimes, if you've still got it in your heart, to sometimes just tear up the rule book and throw it away and do things that are just really challenging. I mean, on the Passion album, I paced up and down for quite some time before I decided to do that rap, which is in empathy. But when I first heard it, I thought, yeah, that'll fit really well. I think, and it kept coming back to me. And then I thought, what's in your heart? You know, what do you want to do? What do you, Nicholas Barrett, want to do? And I said, yes, I want to do that rap. I said, right, do it then. So I did, and really, that I think, you know, has given us the scope to be able to try the courage as well, because people have liked it as well, been enthusiastic, and that helps to, you know, get the courage to kind of move forward and try different things. It's very flattering that people say that it's innovative. I'm very pleased to hear that.
And what seems to be very important in your case, being innovative doesn't mean losing your identity.
No, because the two things that I think really anchor Pendragon are the melodies of the music and the emotion of the music. And as long as it has those two things, I think it'll always have, that's the sort of trademark Pendragon sound that people will always recognise. You know, whether it becomes more heavy or goes off in some other directions is irrelevant, you know, really, as long as those melodies, and because of my voice, people, you know, instantly recognise Pendragon. I mean, I don't have, you know, what is known as a generic great rock voice. My voice is, it's, you know, sounds like me, I guess, and a lot of people think, oh, well, you know, it doesn't sound like David Coverdale, doesn't sound like Lou Gramm, but, you know, it sounds different, and that gives the band some personality. So we've cut out, even if the music slightly changes, you can still hear that it's Pendragon.
The new album's title is Passion, and it seems so adequate, because I always thought that passion was the main driving force behind your music.
Well, you know, my theory is that if it's not worth, you know, if you can't put 110% in, don't bother doing it. You know, it has to be thoroughly the best thing that you can do. I mean, I want to try and make music that's the best I can do. I don't really want to make music that is just going to appease a record company or appease a following, or, you know, it needs to be released just so you can make some money. You know, doing music is something, you know, it just doesn't, you've got to put everything into it, and that requires a lot of passion and digging deep. You know, sometimes writing something and think, ah, no, that's not very good, tear it up, start again, try something else. And I think you go deeper and deeper and deeper if you really try hard. You know, you make better music. That's my aim, is to try to continually make better music. So obviously a lot of passion and energy and effort has to go into doing that.
You've mentioned the rap thing. There's a lot of different surprising elements on this new record.
Yeah.
I wonder where Nick Barrett seeks for inspiration. and he wants to create something.
Well, you know, things sort of come along that change my way of working. I mean, my son is very into rap music, and it's about attitude. I mean, my attitude is that, I mean, I'm 50 years old this year. When I was 16 years old, which is about the same age as my son, my mum was very open to music. I'd listen to this, I'd listen to that, I'd listen to that. Maybe, oh, I don't like that, but I'll play it a bit more, and hey, yeah, no, I like that. You know, the attitude was very open. And as you get older, that attitude closes up. As you become more defined, I think, what you like. And you're not so open to new things. And I thought, well, how about I take the attitude of, you know, when I was 16 and I open my mind up to different kinds of music, and if I don't like it, well, maybe play it a few times. And my son came up with all these, every time that I would go and pick him up, he would, from his mother's house, to bring him back home, you know, it's an hour's drive, and he always had some music to play me. Hey, Dad, what do you think of this? I'm not so keen on that. Oh, Dad, what do you think of this? Oh, that's kind of okay. Play. And, you know, he was playing a lot of stuff like Akon, a lot of stuff like, there's this English artist called Devlin, who's an English rap artist. And I started thinking, actually, this is good. There's something here. The melody is very good. And he played some Eminem. I thought the melody is very good. You know, and the emotion of the lyrics is very powerful. You know, the message is powerful. In this way, because it's spoken, it has a different kind of impact. And I thought, that's very interesting. So when I came to this part in Empathy, I thought that influence would work very well. It had influenced me. So my inspiration has come from my son playing music and listening to lots of other kinds of music. I mean, the bands that I've listened to lately, bands like Foo Fighters or Catatonia or Opeth, or, you know, these are sort of the heavier bands that I haven't listened to before. So to me, this is new. And it's exciting. And I think it was quite hard for me. I mean, maybe about 2002, 2003, I thought, there's not really very much exciting about music at the moment. I like the progressive thing, but I want to hear some more other things come into it. So that was the driving force to change what we do and try and create something new. And that was therefore my inspiration, really.
Mm-hmm. The new album's done. It means another tour for Pendragon, which means that the new DVD is in the making. Mm. And I think it became quite an interesting routine, you know. It's like giving your fans another chapters of your life diary. Mm.
Well, that's very true. I mean, some people are going to say, oh, why have you gone back to Teatr Śląski again to, you know, make another DVD? But the thing is, we have, with this set list that we're playing, it's 90% material that is on no other DVD. We've completely turned the set upside down. So you could almost have a complete collection of Pendragon's music at Teatr Śląski. I mean, when you come here, you know, there's so much. There's the crew are good, the editing's good, the lighting's good, the venue is good, the audience is good. Those elements come together to make a great DVD. Without one of those elements, the whole thing could just fall over. But, you know, we know that there's a good chance with those things here, it will be a good DVD. And I think if you have some different things, like you change the lighting or some of the effects or some of the camera angles and have completely different music, you know, you've got a very nice new DVD as well. So
I'd like to go back for a moment now, because it's, I think, about 15 years since you've released your first DVD, first as VHS. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was Life at Last, I think.
Yeah.
How do you remember doing that?
Yeah, I think it was very hard to do. I mean, this is what, the fifth DVD we've done now. Live at Last was obviously being the very first one. There was a lot more pressure. We were a lot more edgy and nervous about making the DVD. I think you could do a lot less than you can now. I mean, with editing, and we can remix it in a studio, so you know, if we didn't really like the sound on the night, we can change it. Or if we look at camera angle and think, oh, I'm not sure about that one, we can change it. It's quite easy to do that. I mean, back then was hard, and you know it when you go on stage. You think, you've got to get this right, otherwise, you know, it's going to be a mess. So there's a more relaxed approach now than there was 15 years ago.
Accidents do happen. I wonder, did any of them happen to you while making previous DVDs?
Yes. There's usually something. Well, I mean, actually, no one knows this, but when we played King of the Castle on the last DVD, which is a very short acoustic song, I was just getting into the gig and forgot about what I was supposed to be doing, and I changed. We were supposed to play this verse part with keyboards 3 times, and I think I played it 2, and I went back into the guitar thing. And then Peter and Clive thought, oh, he's changed, so they went back into the other thing, and then we kept changing like that. And if you actually look at our faces in the DVD, there's a slight kind of, what do we do now? As we knew we were screwing it up royally, but we managed to more or less fix it, and it was okay. But there's a little strangeness in there. You often get something like that.
You were talking about your songs, about your repertoire, about including songs that were never played before. And I wonder, because there are bands that say that they have songs they never gonna play live. Do you have any such items in your collection?
Well, we have one song. It's more of a joke than a serious statement. We've got one song from the album called Kowtow. There's a song on there called The Haunting, which is about 15 minutes long. And when we used to play that live back in the 80s, it was at a time when the band was really struggling. We had no record deal, we had no management, we had very little, we had no money, and we were driving around in a little van playing in the UK, and it was really hard. And that song was in our set, so every time we hear that song, it reminds us of those times when we had no money. So everyone's, oh no, not The Haunting. No, I don't want to play The Haunting. But there has been talk in recent years. Clive is the worst one. He doesn't he doesn't want to play it the most. I mean, Scott, because he's quite new, will sort of play anything. Yeah, great, Haunting, yeah, okay. I should imagine he'll make it his own and enjoy it and play it. And me and Peter are probably of a similar nature, where we think, well, yeah, okay, you haven't played it for a long time, wheel it out, but I think it gives Clive nightmares. But one day, I think it probably will surface. We're kind of keeping that one for a rainy day.
The gig's over, you're leaving the stage. What would be your first thoughts on the backstage?
Well, there's a sense of relief that you've managed to get through it all okay, which is always very nice. I mean, the thing about being on stage is when you think about it, you think, oh my goodness, that's quite terrifying. But I've learnt to consider now that being nervous is also very similar to being excited. So if you tell yourself you're very excited, you actually don't feel so nervous, and it's quite a it works very well. But when you go on stage, you enter into almost like a slightly different realm and different plane, because it's a tiny bit trance-like, because you're suddenly letting out some emotions which are very open. you know, singing about things that are very close to your heart and playing things which have a lot of, hopefully a lot of feel and emotion, and hopefully it's a powerful thing. So when you come off stage, you still have that feeling of euphoria for a while. I mean, you don't come off stage thinking, I mean, if you were a really big band, you know, say you were someone like Madonna or U2, I really doubt whether you come off stage thinking, there's another £2 million in the bank. You know, things like money and practicalities and food and don't count. You're still in the show in a way. And it takes a long time to come down from that. It's almost like coming back to planet Earth, you know, and can take about 2 hours to settle down. And there's a feeling of euphoria, so that's good.
Thanks very much.